There's female loving female representation. It's great. It's not like overdone in any way. It's not underdone, not a steak. It's, what am I saying? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a book review. I am so excited about this book, guys. So excited. I have not been more excited about a book in a long time. And it's a sci-fi. Honestly, sci-fi and romance, the two genres that I generally don't read, mixed into a book that I absolutely adored and gave 5 stars to. A surprise? Yes, to me, to you, to everyone. Regardless, before we get started, I just want to give you guys a little disclaimer. I know I do this in every video, but I've been away for a month now, so I feel like it's like needed at this point. I know I have been away for a month now, not posting any videos, and I've really wanted to, but I live in an apartment with my entire family, so basically all the noise that is in the background, you know, just background noise, normal background noise, is always like kind of filtering through every room, and it's really hard to film like that because I don't like putting out content with like a lot of background noise. So I've been trying to avoid that. Right now there's a bit of quiet in the house or the apartment, so I hope that it's, you know, decent for today. But yeah, so I apologize for the absence, but I've just been trying to kind of make my videos better quality, and that was inhibiting me, so yeah. Anyways, let's get into this book. The book is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone and Amal El-Moutar. Guys, this book is so good, and there's so much to get into, so let's get into it. Spoiler free, by the way. There's no spoilers in this review. I just want to talk about how amazing this book is in every single way, so let's get into it. The first thing, let me just tell you guys what this book is about. So it's sci-fi, number one. Basically, the way I described it in my little blurb that I kind of created from a bunch of different blurbs and also my memory is this. A dying world. 2 time-traveling agents from warring factions called the Commandant and Garden. Both are trying to secure the best possible future. They exchange letters in a myriad of interesting ways, getting more and more passionate as the story goes on. Epic. That's literally what I wrote. So basically we have these 2 women who are from different factions, and they're fighting to kind of secure the best future. These 2 women are exchanging letters in a lot of creative different ways, and it's just such a fascinating novel. I absolutely loved it. But let's get into why I loved it. So the first thing is the queer representation. There's female loving female representation here. So if you're looking for some sapphic reads, this one is right up your alley, I promise. Even if you're not into sci-fi, you're gonna love this one. It's so good. I haven't heard anyone talk about this in a bad way at all. So guys, I mean, queer representation. Is there anything else to say in this review? You can just click off right now. I'm kidding, just stay for a little bit because there's more. All right, next up. This book is written beautifully. I mean, the prose is stunning. And this is basically just a collection of letters for these 2 characters. You know, this book is basically a collection of letters, but it's written so well. Like, it blew my mind. I'm such a sucker for beautiful prose, and this book did not disappoint me. I loved the prose. And next up, this kind of goes hand in hand. This book is so creative. Like, the authors, wow. Just wow. I mean, the concept, like warring factions, not that, you know, unique, but just the idea of like letters being sent in these random ways that kind of only exist in sci-fi worlds, I am stunned. And the world building here was so great. But yeah, I wrote that at first I felt a little overwhelmed by the sci-fi-ness, if that even makes sense, in this book, just because I didn't finish reading, I DNF'd The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I showed in my last reading vlog, because it was just a little overwhelming for me at that point. I liked it, it was really cute, but like there was a lot of sci-fi elements and I couldn't handle reading it. It was a little too much for my brain, but I thought it was pretty manageable for somebody who's not a huge sci-fi fan. So love the sci-fi, love this book in general, so creative. Wow, I'm like losing air because I'm just so in love with this book. Okay, next up, the characters. So I got really attached to these characters. I wasn't expecting to, because like in the beginning it was just a little bit too much sci-fi for me at the moment, and I was like, how am I gonna feel about these characters? I'm like okay with them so far. But as I went on, I got so much more invested in the relationship and the characters, and I just cared about them so much. And I think that's one of the most important things when you're reading a book, to really care about the characters, and I definitely did. So they're lovable, they're witty, they're so good. They're so good. I love it. The next thing, I think it's so amazing that these 2 authors, because it's 2 authors who wrote this book, not just one, they were able to create such a cohesive story that it never felt like these were just 2 authors writing. Like, it wasn't ever, you know, evident that there were 2 different writing styles or there were 2 different ideas trying to be kind of conveyed. It was always just so cohesive and so beautiful, and you felt like it was two authors really working together to blend their styles and not trying to kind of like steal the shine from the other one. It was just always a beautiful blend, and I don't know, I just think it worked so well. They're just both so talented, and you can see that, and I want more collaborations from them because this was really great. And I haven't really read that many collaborative books between authors, but this one makes me want to read more, and that's a pretty big compliment. Next up, I mean, this is probably the biggest thing for me during quarantine, because I don't know about you guys, but I have not been able to read long books. Like, I just cannot sit down and listen/read books. Like, I was trying to read Becoming by Michelle Obama on audiobook, and it was 19 hours long, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't do this today, can't do this anytime soon. I tried for like a little bit, and I was like, no, I'm not, just, it's just not working for me. So yeah, sorry Michelle Obama, I watched your documentary on Netflix, I just couldn't listen to the audiobook. But the length of this book, the length of This Is How You Lose the Time War is very short. I should probably figure out how many pages there are. I actually don't know. I'll put it up on the video screen, whatever it is, but it's very short, and I love that. I love that it's like under 300 pages because I needed a short book, and this one delivered so well in that sense. But also, I wrote down that as writers, we know how hard it is to edit and kill our darlings. We want to write like as much as possible and keep everything in, but that's not always the best choice. And I think this is an amazing example of how effective a story can be despite its length, because some people think that just because a story is longer, or I guess there's kind of an idea that like if you keep everything in, then it's going to be better because it has everything that you wanted. But sometimes you really have to make a story concise to make it more impactful, and I think that this is a beautiful example of that. It was amazingly done for how short of a book it was. Loved it. Great length. Great length. That's great length. Alright, next up I wrote authentic. This book, there's just no other way to describe it. This book felt so authentic when I was reading it. There was nothing about it that felt, you know, ornate or just overdone in any way. It was just the romance, the relationship, the characters, and their kind of confessions to each other felt so real and raw, and I really appreciated that, because when you're reading a book, I feel like that's what you're always seeking, like the raw, I mean, not always, sometimes you just want some, you know, fluffy, superficial stuff, but this is definitely not that. It felt very real and intimate, and I loved it. Yeah, alright, next up, so this is the last point I have before I kind of go into who I recommend this for. The ending in this was actually really good. I didn't really see the twist coming, but I liked the twist. I think it was just great. And I always wonder if endings are gonna like mar the book itself. If it's a really good book, I'm like, oh, I hope the ending is not bad, because like it was such a good book. But I wasn't worried here because I feel like the authors were so capable throughout the book that I felt like it wasn't gonna end up disappointing me, and it really didn't. I felt really happy about the ending, and I just enjoyed the entire book. Like when I finished it, I was like, okay, this was an amazing book. This is a 5-star book, and I have not felt like that in such a long time. Guys, I mean, even the sensual part, like the book is so sensual and so intimate and so, I just love it. And lastly, I recommend this for anyone who's a fan of Killing Eve, which is a TV show. There's also some books for Killing Eve, but if you haven't watched Killing Eve, first of all, please do. It is such a good show. We follow an MI6 agent and a psychopath who murders, and there's some queer elements there. Just really good writing and amazing cinematography and outfit, like wardrobe. And the acting is Jodie Comer, that's all I have to say. Jodie Comer, wow. And Sandra Oh as well, but Jodie Comer, her acting, impeccable, and she's gorgeous too, so, I mean, but yeah, a Goodreads review that I actually read for this book was saying, Killing Eve but make it time travel, and I kind of agree with that. Even though they're pretty different, I feel like they do have similar elements in terms of the intimacy and the sensuality, and just kind of like being on different sides. Like these two women are on different sides fighting against each other, but also kind of working together. If you want intense emotions, a female-female storyline, great writing, an interesting story, read this book and watch Killing Eve, and that is how I want to end this video. Please, if you haven't watched Killing Eve, it's on Hulu and I think Amazon Prime as well. So good, and please read this book. It is amazing. I have not felt this good about a book in a long time, but I feel good enough to recommend it to you guys in a video just for this book. I just love this book so much that I can't say enough good things about it. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go read this book if you haven't. If you have read this book, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Even if you hated it, let me know in the comments, because I love to discuss things even if we have different opinions. That's the whole point of discussions and booktube in general, I think. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. I hope you guys are all doing well,